Okay, hello, welcome. We are starting in just a second. I need to find one thing, and here I go. I think so. Or am I just dumb? I think I'm dumb a little bit. But that's besides the point. Okay, found my can bottle opener. So you will hear a simple sound, and we should be good to go. Just getting myself a nice cold beverage for today's stream. Just always appreciated. Seems like everything is fine. Live chat, not top chat, because I don't want to miss every second message, because it might happen. And let me just open the chat on my phone, because it's way easier to and faster to just read the messages on my phone than on my PC. Yes, I do use my phone to read messages. This is simpler. Like, you know, there is a delay for Streamlabs to read the messages, so, and it's like a few seconds. So if the faster I respond, or the faster I see them, the faster I can respond. That's the better way to say it, I think. I wonder what music should I go for. Naval. No copy. Naval music, no copyright. Something like that. Copyright free military music. Sounds good. We have 22 songs. A little bit quieter. Just do tell me if it's too loud or something. Shouldn't be. But today's lineup, and as I said in the title, finishing the Japanese tech tree with cruisers. Maybe later adding Fuso to the lineup, going for the 7.0, just to get the base, the bonus experience faster. For now we have quite a few of that. When it comes to, let's say for example, Tone, Mogami gets a few like 20,000, Suzuya gets like 20-ish thousand also. Why the hell not? And 6.0 we do have the possibility of getting 5.0 or 6.0, even 6.3, 6.7, probably 6.7 or 7.0. But hey, we have torpedoes. I like torpedoes. Also, if my voice sound a little bit raspier, a little bit worse, it's because during this week I may or may have not made my throat worse. It's getting colder, and I decided it's a nice idea to just go with a very light clothing on the very windy weather. Okay, we have 6-3 to 5-3, no, 5-7, I'm sorry. Duplay is 5-7, Still don't know why. Also, I'm sorry for 6-7. Yeah. Shit. Also, I'm sorry for not streaming yesterday, but to quote myself, I was kinda like a dead fish yesterday, so after going back home from work and finishing my studies, finishing my everything, because yes, I have started the new academic year. I am going for a master's degree. It was first of all midnight, second of all I decided, yeah, maybe, just maybe, let's give up, and because I had no energy, and it's better for me to just well, quote unquote, go for the high energetic for the stream where I can respond to you guys and where I can bring this energy level a little bit more, still being the chill on the chill part, than just being okay. And that's my whole sentence for 5 or 10 minutes, which do happen sometimes, but as you could see with like for example me streaming for over 6 hours, Rising Storm 2, hello. Maybe I should... Okay, music should be a little bit better. Of course I got hit for the 50% of my crew. But at least I dropped 8 torpedoes. Now just try and survive, This is harder than one could expect. Especially since... who is shooting at me? Prince Eugen. Yeah, so like one more hit from Eugen and I'm done. And those bots are getting very, very accurate. Like, lately it's very easy for them to just, you know, got accurate after 3rd or 4th salvo. Okay, every torpedo dropped, so now let's just hopefully wait for kills, question mark, after a few minutes or so. If not, then okay, I accept that. Basically this is the point of just bringing a destroyer to top tier, to have this possibility of getting a torpedo kill and draining the ranks of the enemies. Especially since now long lances are way better. Okay, what is happening with the server? Hello. Check my internet connection. Internet connection is alright, so it's something with War Thunder servers. But yeah, going back. It is a bit better to just hope for the one shot, one kill, or one torpedo, one kill on battleship, on cruiser, than just to spawn in something and have no kill game. Like, you know, it's the same thing with the 1% critical chance. It's better to have 1% critical chance than 0% critical chance, because 0 means 0 means none, 1% means there is a statistical possibility of you getting the kill, or getting the critical hit. The Thunderbolt just robbed me of the B point, so I either repair and replenish my torpedoes, or I just... I wanna say J out, but Jing out is... let's stop because it's not half an hour yet, or 20 minutes. Let's stop firing at the Železniakov. I am just currently on the verge of dying. Grab that Suzuya or grab that Mogami. Or maybe not grab anything at all because they are way too fast approaching for me. I think Japanese cruisers have torpedoes also. And that would be a nice kill, I reckon, because that Eugen is about to get breached. Beached, not breached. Yeah. Okay, so let's just start spamming HE. Very slow approach, but nobody's shooting at me. So I'm just kinda waiting for the mark to drop so I can just safely J out, not give anyone a kill. At the same time, if I want to get a kill, then maybe I should J out, give the kill for the Miller and start using Mogami or Suzuya or grind Tone. I know it might be better. I'm torn. I'm really torn. But yeah, you know what? At this point, I can just J out. I did what I could, what I had to. So, okay. We're gonna have a very fun skin to look at. So now I can just replenish myself and get maybe some luck with torpedoes, maybe some few lucky detonations on the Eugens. Just crap ton of Eugens lately. Not even Des Moines or Helena, just Eugen. At this point I'm a little bit surprised that pretty much a lot of bots have switched to Eugen from using the fast firing ships like Des Moines or Helena. Okay, first torpedo kill, there we go, good. Also no score for that. Or yeah, excuse me, 40 score for getting a kill on Prince Eugen with a torpedo. Like, come on. Lately what is fascinating is that I've tested out a little bit of the infamous 5.7 British cruisers, the light cruisers, the town class, etc. Okay, I think I hit the same guy with the torpedo that I was shooting at with my Mogami. Surprisingly, the British 5.7 is way more durable than before. So I take that as a good sign, and I take it as some incentive to play more British 5.7 and for people to get into it. Getting back to Belfast, getting that Liverpool, getting that Southampton, Kent, London, that's heavy cruisers, but also quite enjoyable, at least for me. Then again, you know how it goes. Some people like them, some people not. But it is for sure that it's way easier to survive in them than before. But you have to grind through a very painful HE stock shell. So this is kinda offset of the overall quite decent ships. Maybe not the best ships overall, still as a light cruiser, as a premium light cruiser I would put Mikuma way above Belfast, although I love Belfast, and without Belfast I wouldn't even touch the British Navy, besides the destroyers, of course, and Dido. Dido is an exception. But that's Dido, of course, you know. Other than that, grinding gets way more pleasurable and way more enjoyable. Now, when I'm a little bit more familiar with what to do and what not to do, basically meaning what not to do. Let's not spawn as the first guy. Let's wait a minute. No, in pretty much every match. Just the later you spawn, the more people you have on your team. This is why it's better to spawn in a destroyer. Die fast, but drop the torpedoes on maps like African Gulf, on maps like every conquest map beside Midway. Yes, Midway. To ensure that you're getting that few extra kills for your team, and especially if that kills are on the bot players, on the premium ships that will live after first match. So it's way easier for your team to, you know, get the first advantage, even though later you might see a lot of players leaving. It is still way more profitable for you to, okay, get less in terms of reward, but more in terms of winning. And hey, reward for winning is way more important when it comes to your Silver Lion gain and RP gain than a lot of points. Because here, yeah, sure, maybe I got 2,800 points here because I got quite a few with Kiyoshimo, so half of the damage and half of the score was with Kiyoshimo, so 4.7 premium. Without that, if that was just with Mogami, but with a lost battle, then I would get like, what, 3,000? Is it that profitable? I don't think so. Also with boosters. I forgot about boosters, that I have them enabled since yesterday. Because yesterday I played the British cruiser lineup. By the way, if because besides being a dead fish and having no energy to do anything meaningful besides, you know, just prepping for my master's degree and studying, etc. I messed a little bit with my audio filters on my mic in Streamlabs options, so now the compressor should work differently. Now it should be a little bit more crispier, a little bit less noisy when it comes to noise cancellation, etc. So do tell me if that's better or if I should return to my previous settings. Yes, settings, because I can do that as well, no problem. One or the other, it's no problem for me to just, you know, revert that. And if of course the previous version sounded a little bit better or way better, depending on how you want to say it, see it, not say it. I do have to work on my pronunciation. But if this is the more preferable version, first for the recording, second for the streaming, because basically this is the same thing overall. I don't switch my audio settings when it comes to recording or streaming. It's just for recording. I do send it a little bit through some audio editing in Audacity. It is very powerful, very good and free audio editing software. But if it's what you prefer before, no problem. Next stream, so tomorrow, we're going back to something more similar to what we had before. Also tomorrow I'm thinking about going back to Naval SC, get this chill experience for the end of the week. don't want to touch Hearts of Iron for now. The Arms Against Tyranny DLC is coming close-ish in 3 days basically, so I don't want to go for it for now. Which might be helpful, and next week we will see, maybe, depending on the price. Like, what was the price again? Around 15, 18 euros. Way too pricey for just a DLC, but apparently the DLC is way better than the last one. So battle. No, the last one was good because the last one was the Eastern Europe slash. Hi, which boats are left to be researched? I only need like 48,000 RP for Ise, and then I can proudly proclaim once again that Japanese Tech Tree is again finished. It's gonna take a while. Oh shit, that mine is wrecking me. Not the Alaska. But after that, I'm thinking about grabbing like 1 or 2 matches in Ise, get the general feel, if she's basically a better armored Hyuga or what. And then deciding she was worth it, she wasn't worth it. We'll see, we'll see. To be completely honest, it was mostly Ise that was left pretty much since the beginning of this update. Do I have the coastal line finished, and compared to the other video you are a little silent? On the silent part, no worries, I can change that. Basically, I still have my slider. Slider was like a little bit more to the left, so it was on the quieter side. I was like on -8, -9 decibels. I'm at -5. Still, I can, even if that's too quiet, I can still up myself in. It's better now. Okay, good. I mean, if it's still like crappy, then I can just go for the upping myself a little bit on my audio interface. That should be quite alright too. If not, then we will leave that as it is. And about the coastal line, no, I don't have it finished. In fact, I have my coastal line a little bit screwed because I have not put a lot of effort into getting it done. I'm not a coastal player. I do know the advantages of having a few of the coastal line researched, especially the lighter torpedo boats that can just, maybe not on this map, but that could just grab sneakily the capture points, etc. on your on the smaller maps. For example, on African Gulf, Fuego Islands, whatever. I might play them. That is a possibility that I could consider, and I probably will consider. First get Ise, so I can get the blue water lineup finished, then 1 or 2 games with Issa. After that, switching to coastals. I don't need a lot of work in it. It's just the coastal grind is slow, very, very slow-ish. Not to the point of it feeling sluggish. No, for sure. Where I did feel sluggish was the American lineup compared to every other country, even Italy. But I would need to get some progress done because I don't even have rank 2 research, so I can just go for the frigates. That's the problem. After this match I will show you how my coastal lineup looks. Coastal line, not lineup. My lineup is basically 3.3. What was it? The PGO2, the PT11 and Shonan. That's my lineup. Nothing too crazy. I just played a few rounds of Japanese Coastal 3.0 and despite all my boats being stock, I had quite some fun and definitely a change of pace from blue water. Oh, for sure. I do have to say I've not played Coastal after the compartment and the mechanic, the damage mechanic changes, so I'm not so sure if I will enjoy that as much. Hopefully I will. If not, then oh yeah, happens. I'm not going back to coastals as my next grind, probably to Italy. I do want to get at least one battleship in every lineup, and I'm only missing Italy for now. K8, K3 and K7. Oh, those are really good ships. I do enjoy that 80mm primary gun. They were my go-to at 2.3, 3.0. Can take a lot of beating and can do a little more than your average damage. My favorites from the coastal line are PT-15, which I always bring to blue water, and Type 4 Modification 4, which is really just fun with its speed and propellers. I don't think I have Type 4. I should have, but I'm not so sure. I do have PT-15, yeah, not PT-11, but PT-15, my bad. Yeah, this, like I said, basically one PT boat for your blue water or top tier or whatever is a must. Especially on Conquest, not on Conquest, but on Encounter maps. On Conquest and on Encounter, like here, or on Battle, you don't need them, but on on maps with control points, definitely a big advantage. It's sad how quick they just die. But it is what it is. It is a gameplay advantage, quote, a gameplay feature that you have to be on constant edge and basically playing a stealth game even. with all the different ships, praying that you are not noticed by the bigger cruisers or battleships, especially bots. Okay, I don't think I can intercept that renown with my torpedoes. I will just send like 2 here and a few here. Yet another battle cruiser. From the looks of it, it's mostly about battle cruisers here. Those 3 looks like a battle cruiser. Kevani, something like that. I don't know if that's what Sierra Lake is that. All of them look similar. Before the update, I was halfway through with Fuso. Now I have to go through Mogami first. Despite having the Congo already, I went back to some cruises which I haven't played much before. Oh, definitely cruisers are on the weaker side now. They are not as competitive as they used to be. I can assure that I can assure you, because as a Japanese cruiser or 6.0 mainly player or Congo player, that definitely cruisers got worse during this update. Furitaka is really fun and more enjoyable than Aoba because of better torpedo and firing angles. Yeah, definitely. Still, Furu is way worse than you can achieve with Mogami or Suzuya. That's why I don't really touch Furu or Aoba. I'm way better off just maining those 3 with a little bit of Tone on the side. Because Tone is such an interesting ship in all the wrong things. I do need to play more Congo. That is a fact. Would you believe that I haven't touched Congo after the update dropped? I played Fuso, I played Hyuga, I played... Okay, I haven't played Setsu or Ikoma, but... I mean, who plays those? But I still have yet to play with my Congo. Just Furitaka on purpose to avoid 7.0 ships like Scharnhorst, which I don't have any idea how to kill. Torpedoes, you have no possibility of killing them any other way than torpedoes. If not for torpedoes, then I don't know, superstructure and try to disable Sharn's turret to Reds or guns. You have... I mean, it is a charm, if you want to say it like that, of this game, that you have no chance of fighting against a battle cruiser or a battleship in a heavy cruiser, unless that the battle cruiser is Ikoma or some other World War I thing. Definitely what you're seeing here is me just getting lucky with disabling the turrets on Kronstadt. And don't replicate that. that puzzles me about Congo is that she is still BR-7-0 despite being worse stat-wise than many other ships like Fuso is Atlanta. Many got more crew armor turrets. It's about mobility, I think. Mobility and versatility. Plus, there's this thing. Like, screw Congo being at 7.0 because, yeah, definitely not somewhere she belongs to, but you can work with Congo at 7.0. What baffles me is that even though you have ships like Congo, you have ships like Pariskaya, or pretty much every other worse performing battleships, and though I will not say that they are worse battleships, but worse performing battleships in terms of your general average player. Things like Arizona, Nevada, Dulio, Marat, Texas, those are still 6.7. So that's what baffles me. Like, I don't mind Congo being at 7.0, but bring all the other battleships at 7.0. Then I have no qualms with Congo being 7.0. If not, then I will be adamant on Congo getting to 6.7. Okay, one shell room done. Now for the other. Only armor plate. Oh, that would be a nice shot if that got... if that would penetrate the shell rooms of Kronstadt. Oh, a bit too low, but happens. 6 naval targets destroyed. I'll take that for Mogami. Okay, I'm the last. God damn it. I'm gonna read the comment in a second. What the hell is that? Ah, that's renown. Okay. God damn it. Yeah, I'm playing with Mogami. Is she the best cruiser, Japanese cruiser at 6.0? Wouldn't say the best, but she's the most fun for me to play. Definitely. Okay, I am shooting way too low for that. Why is this guy so adamant on talking shit about me playing in a cruiser when he's in a Kronstadt? Like, Oh wow. Crimea River. Wanna bet that this guy will message me after the match. About the what's it called, the HE damage for the new for the Japan. No, I wouldn't say go for the HE filler. At this point, you're just better off with using the spamming the AP, even against battleships. Oh yeah, I was supposed to show you my coastal lineup. So yeah, as you can see, rank 2 is good, rank 3 is a little bit screwed over, and then you have rank 4 and 5, which there's PT-15, there's Shonan, and somehow I don't have Ikazuchi or the rest of... Even for the 155mm cannons on Suzuya, even for that, you will get damage, don't get me wrong, you will get damage with those guns, but if you want to go for the critical components, like disabling turrets, going for the lucky shots on compartments, especially now when it comes to the hull damage, you are better off with the Type 91, the diving shell. The HE is fun if you're going for the superstructure, it is good for grinding damage if you're stock setting fires. The problem is fires in this game are not really reliable damage wise. You are better off just, you know, trying to delete someone with your AP. Speaking of which, let me just go for the heavy cruiser lineup. So Aoba, Mogami, and Furutaka. On all 3mm and 381, I always run AP, but it was an exception till now. I mean, if that works for you, then who am I to stop you? For sure, I do like to keep, you know, just a little bit of the HE even on the big caliber, just in case I'm getting, you know, I'm fighting like this small boat or a destroyer, because for the destroyers you will get overpens a lot. But when it comes to all the other, I would just use generally AP. Against cruisers, you have nothing better, and against battleships, you either are, you know, better off either using your torpedoes or just trying and get that lucky shot. I haven't played Alba since ages. I do need to refresh my memories of all the 5.7 and 6.0. I'm sorry. I think I have a hiccup. That would be quite a right idea for a video. Like, what to go for in Japanese lineup first, the best top tier Japanese cruiser. Naval, that's cool. Yeah, Naval is cool. Slower approach, but I do like Naval. I mean, come on, nowhere else you're getting the experience of shooting such guns, and even with playing, I don't know, mouse or something like that, you are not getting the same feeling as sailing a battleship. I am just a little bit sad that Gaijin don't want to develop more naval when it comes to game modes, when it comes to different maps. But now it will be better to spawn after Furutaka since it has more AA and probably the probability of aircraft only rises later on. It's also easier to send your torps early on. Yes, you are right. At the same time, I don't really care that much about aircrafts. I mean, we're basically off with the same 25mm automatic cannons, so you are just and the radar in fact don't help you unless you are manually controlling your AA against the aircraft, which, let's be honest, you are way more focused on fighting against other ships than against planes. Also, it is better for you to spawn in something with a little bit more armor and better crew placement than Alba, because Alba is really compact when it comes to a heavy cruiser and when it comes to crew placement. And later, when you need to rely on that armor, so when you need to rely on taking hits against battleships, against the players that has left in the match, it is better for you to, even though they have the same kind of hull, Aoba class is way more fragile than Furutaka, or Mogami for that. The torpedoes on such maps like Midway don't really matter that much. You are, all in all, just left with this one spot that you can send your torpedoes into, or if some ships are going this way, then here. Other than that, you are still on the same page as with all the different ships. The Naval also? Cool. Nice to see yet another Naval player. People just don't appreciate the Naval. Like, not gonna lie, call me fussy and call me throwing a fit, but I have almost left 3 Discord servers dedicated to War Thunder just because I was basically ridiculed for playing Naval. I have left only 1 of them. But I was close on leaving all 3. Like, I don't know what is up with especially ground players going for all 5 players of Naval are in 1 squadron, etc. But I mean, isn't that just like boring for them to repeat the same joke for the what? For the last 2 years or almost 3 years? Currently have German and Italian naval for battleships and have this even ship HMS Renown. Ooh, you went for Renown. How is it for you? To be honest, I've yet to play Renown. Some people say she's better now, some people say you're better off not touching her. I do think I do want to get her for a spin. I went with a match in her once, but then the server crashed, so I just shoot twice and then did nothing else. And yet to play more. Played a lot of tanks and planes but now I find my joy on Naval since it's much more interesting, forgiving, and all-in-all fun. I do feel similar to you, like I have similar experiences. Also, I feel like Naval has better learning curve compared to all the other game modes. Like your typical air match is really, if you don't know what you're doing, then you're gonna suffer. Tanks really rely on having a good sighting skills. Also, everything dies in 1 or 2 shots, so where's the fun in that when everyone is just spawn camping or just camping in general? Naval is much more forgiving, and the Naval is more engaging for me since I was almost throughout my whole life I was more of a Naval guy than a tank guy. Especially I do enjoy my planes from time to time, not really in a large portion. I was a plane guy before the Naval got announced. Then I almost exclusively switched to Naval. Now this alright ship, I would recommend something else. Yeah, that's what I feel like is the best summing up of Renown. Like, you're better off getting Hood. Britain or Italy? I would say go for Britain since they have way, like besides the Yama opinion, I would say go for Britain since they have way better development tree and way more development possibilities. Probably we won't see, for example, Conte di Cavour for the next year, probably in the next winter update, so next December or something of the 2024, maybe. And I'm really unsure on when we are getting something like Vittorio Veneto. On the other hand, Britain, you already have Marlborough, you have Hood, which are very good ships. You have quite potent destroyers or cruisers that don't have a lot of armor, but they are fun to play. With a lot of possibility, like the World War II version of Iron Duke class, so something after Marlborough. Probably we will see In one of the next updates, maybe even this year, we will see something like King George V class or Queen Elizabeth, Duke of York. There's quite a few ships that can be introduced very soon-ish. Also, Gaijin hates Italy, so if you are just done with Italy, then I'm sorry, you basically have seen everything. But I think we will have to wait for Conte di Cavour because Gaijin hates Italy. That's why. Instead of developing better and proper major naval powers, they are developing naval trees that are not and weren't even a naval power. Soviet Union or Imperial Russia, even with World War I dreadnoughts. Germany. And like that. Also, Conte di Cavour, I was talking... when I was talking about Conte di Cavour, I was thinking about the World War II version with the 320mm guns and all the armor, refit, anti-air, etc. Not the Dreadnought version. God forbid if they will just add the Dreadnought version and call it a day. I would be pissed, because Italy has not a lot of developed ships that could be added into the game, and if they... and for what they can add to Italy, there's way more interesting stuff than adding just your World War I battleships. We might see for the World War I, for the dreadnoughts, we might see the Tegethoff class, since Italy got Hungary as their sub-tree. Also, Austro-Hungarian battleship. The only thing that could be added for the Austro-Hungarian stuff. Especially since after the disbanding of Austro-Hungary, well, both nations got landlocked, so no naval development for them. Just like Japan, yeah, but at the same thing, Japan gets way better World War II retrofits. Like, to be honest, comparing. Like, don't get me wrong, I like my Italian ships. It's no really... it's a matter of fact that for a lot of the historians even, things like Vittorio Veneto or Littorio class, which are the same class but different names, were considered as the best battleships of the World War II across every nation. At the same time, Japan, as more focused on the naval development since ages, they were way better with modernizing their dreadnoughts to the point of them being a completely different classes. Be it, for example, redesigning Congo, which was a battle cruiser, to a fast battleship class. Changing the whole shape, pretty much leaving just the guns. And even the guns, I think, have the different turrets, but don't quote me on that. I don't think so. And out of the following ships classes, which order are they likely to come? Nagata, Bismarck, King George V, Littorio, Richelieu. Richelieu will get the last. Will be added last. Simply because France will get more... the more World War I stuff, like Courbet class from the World War I, Bretagne class from the World War I, and then we might see more World War II stuff. I would say Richelieu from from the longest to shortest: Richelieu, Littorio, Bismarck, Nagato, and King George V. Something like that. Or Nagato, Bismarck, King George V. And yes, the only World War II battleships Japan had was the Yamato class. That is true. At the same time, not a lot of other nations had proper quote-unquote World War II battleships. Most of them were just continuation of the old World War I classes or modernized World War I classes, be it US, be it France, be it England or UK, Germany. Germany had only Bismarck and maybe Scharnhorst, but Scharnhorst is a battle cruiser slash battleship. I don't get into that discussion anymore because everyone has their own opinion. There is no consensus in that. A lot of Germany is still missing Nice now. Would be nice to add. Yeah, she would be nice to add, to be added. But Scharnhorst is classified as fast battleship depending on sources. Really depending on sources. Most of the times, most of the sources I am seeing is not that it's a battleship or a fast battleship, but a battle cruiser, or in Polish sources it is cited as a line cruiser, which was the name of the battle cruisers for Poland. So no, not really. Gniezno would be nice. I would reclassify Scharnhorst as a fast battleship if they would receive the possible modification and retrofit of getting the 380mm guns. Sadly, they never got it, so I don't think it is alright to say that they are a fast battleship. They are still following the World War I German naval doctrine of battle cruisers. Like, don't get me wrong, some would say yes, that Scharnhorst class is a fast battleship class. Why do I care for the classification of a ship? Does it really matter, fast battleship or a battle cruiser or whatever? No, but it's way better to just have it properly organized and not to, like, you know, not to think that, how should I say it? The classes exist for a reason. Although I might agree that some of them are stupid, like the classification of heavy cruiser and light cruiser. Yes, I am from Poland. I am from Poland, I live in Poland. I currently don't have any reasons to move out from Poland, so I do speak Polish. Like they say, from the grandfather and great-grandfather, I'm Polish. I don't think that's something to doubt when it comes to my family tree. But when it comes to classification, yeah, some things like the heavy light cruiser, where the classes were just based on if something has bigger guns and or smaller guns, like, okay, so the 180mm and upward is considered heavy cruiser, while the 160 or something was considered the light cruiser. That's just, if I remember correctly, it was 6 to 7 inches because it was the London Naval Treaty that designed that specified the class limitations. So 6-inch would be 152, so 155 would count, then 7-inch was the something really not looked upon, so not a lot of ships had the 7-inch guns. Most of them had just 8-inch and upwards, besides things like Hawkins, which had 7.5-inch, but we don't go for that. Yeah, battleships were basically your turtles. So that's why when you see a battleship, most likely you will see in your mind some things from Britain or some things from US. So slow, heavily armored, heavily gunned, like the 381, 410mm guns. So the big guns, the big naval firepower. Then you have fast battleships. So something that was developed from the battleships, but not only carrying armor and guns, but also was in this triangle of speed, armor, and firepower. They were in the middle, more on the mobility and firepower side. So some things like Congo, Iowa, Vittorio Veneto even. And then you have battle cruisers, which were the World War I designs even. That fell into obscurity in the World War II, and not a lot of nations really pursued that. Most of the nations that pursued the battlecruiser designs were the nations that either have them already in build and didn't want to stop or scrap them, or the nations that did not have the better naval dockyards nor the capability of designing proper battleships, be it Soviet Union, be it Germany. That's why, for example, Scharnhorst was designed before the Bismarck, because of the lack of the proper naval knowledge and the fact that Germany was left with only pre-dreadnought hulls like the Schleswig-Holstein. And battle cruisers were basically battle cruisers. Battle from battleships, so big guns, and cruiser from the speed and light armor of cruisers. That's the classification. And there's no classification on tonnage, so some battle cruisers weighed more than a battleship, some cruisers weighed more than a battle cruisers, or not really, but you get the idea, you get the gist of it. Okay, oh, you live not far from Poland, currently learning Polish in Duolingo. Oh boy. Good luck, because Polish, Duolingo on Polish, it is quite a fun ride, if I say so, because I did have a look at it. It is interesting, and good luck at learning all the inflections and all the different declensions, because even Poles struggle with that. Speaking of Sharn, you might use it. Yeah, go for it. Sharn is still the meta vehicle. By the way, where do you live? If you are near Poland, you have Team Europe. You are either German or Austrian or something like that. This is very like the Germanic, like the Western side-ish. Or Scandinavian. So either north or west, I would assume. But yeah, Sharn, Friyama, Sharn is still a meta vehicle. Just beware that you have a weak citadel currently, and you might get hit here. I'm sorry. Might get hit here a lot. You get the unrepairable breach, and you most likely won't be able to move or something like that. So the difference between a fast battleship and a battlecruiser is one is fast and the other one is also fast but also has armor. Germany was correct. No, because you see, Germany was not correct, because Germany was following the old battlecruiser doctrine which they had, in which the normal battlecruiser doctrine that was pretty much followed by every other nation, so Japan, Britain, US, France, etc., is that battle cruisers had the guns of a battleship and speed and armor of a cruiser. Whereas in Germany, they said, okay, screw the guns, let's use the smaller guns, the 283mm guns. For example, Von der Tann. For example, Scharnhorst. Something like that. They are following the Germany doctrine, which was speed and armor, not firepower, not the guns. Germany never went for the guns when it comes to designing a battlecruiser. Only later they decided that it would be nice to improve the firepower of the Scharnhorst class and redesigning them as a fast battleships, when the idea of outfitting them with the 380mm of the Bismarck guns. Before that, they were most likely classified as a battlecruiser because of the old World War I doctrine that Germany was still followed. Simply because Germany had nothing better. They were not allowed to develop more naval stuff, so they kinda stick with it until the end of World War II. Same thing with unrestricted submarine warfare, same thing with developing a lot of U-boats. Basically, when you look at the history of the German designs and the German naval doctrine, you see that basically they copied everything from World War I, but upscaled it to World War II. So yeah, they saw the potential of aircraft carriers, see it Graf Zeppelin, but most of that they were just like, okay, so we are accepting the British naval dominance in the Baltic Sea, not the Baltic Sea, in the Atlantic Ocean, etc. So we are not contesting with them, but we are contesting with French, we are contesting with Soviets on the Baltic Sea. So they are developing the smaller stuff. Basically what they did in World War I. They never really wanted to contest Britain. Same thing why they opted for the Sea Lion to be firstly used planes when it comes to all the bombardments, not to achieving the naval dominance, to be allowed to just invade the British Isles. They wanted to achieve it through the Air Force, not through the naval dominance. They have Kurama? No, I sadly don't, and if I will get her, I will probably just buy her. I had no luck when it comes to grinding the event. I might get the key 48, then sell her and use the funds from that to buy myself Kurama. Sadly, like I said, the luck was not on my side, and quite frankly, this is basically my luck with the naval crafting events, or crafting events in general. I remember when Germany referred to you guessing my location. Oh, so I kinda was right. Like, I'm gonna lie. Battle Pass vehicle soon? Yeah, probably. This Battle Pass is really long, so they would probably just want it for players to be done with the event, and then we have like one more task, one more time limited task arriving, and then around 20th, yeah, so we are just getting the new, what's it called? The new devlogs soon. Probably this or next week we'll get the devlogs on the Battle Pass vehicles. Maybe we'll get some cruisers, maybe we'll get some destroyers, maybe something French even. Or not just Russian and Russian. I wouldn't mind seeing some French Battle Pass vehicle, like Le Terrible of the Le Fantastic class. That would be a nice vehicle to be added. The fastest destroyer in the entire world, which wouldn't be a copy-paste per se, because she would be way faster. Something nice for Naval. Like I said, a destroyer or a cruiser would be nice. A copy-paste, but not so much. But most likely we will just get yet another boat, like we got for the Italy lately, or the boat before, or the boat before, or the boat before. We got way too many boats. Italian anti-ship plane would be nice. It lacks good planes. Italy needs a lot of development in general, not only a battle pass vehicles. I would really enjoy getting some things like solely focused on Italy. Do you think Yamato will ever come to the game? Yes. If so, how will it be balanced if it has so much more tonnage as well as massive armor? Going against the missiles wouldn't be fair. I mean, Yamato in terms of balance would really be unbalanced. That is the truth. Not a lot of shells were close to penetrating and dealing damage to Yamato. Then again, when we will take a look at how the damage is modeled in War Thunder, you would see that a lot of the damage and a lot of the crew losses comes from this. So just destroying the secondary turrets, main turrets, superstructure, this would just generally be a very slow slug, but it would be possible to kill Yamato. Also a lot of torpedoes. Yamato might just get bullied by a fast battleship? No, not really. Not really. The thing is, Yamato had a very fast turrets and very fast loading speed. Very fast reload rate, so she would stay competitive against fast battleships. She wasn't fast at all, but she had the armor and the firepower, also the reload rate, to be able to stand against the fast battleships, like even Iowa. Yamato was made with bad quality iron. Bismarck had better armor. Not really. Yamato was built and main Yamato components like armor, like guns, etc. were made with the good armor that was before the iron and steel shortages of Japan during the Second War, so during the mid 40s. So I don't think I don't think Yamato was made with such a bad quality iron. Yes, it wasn't the best armor, but at the same time it wasn't the worst armor at all. Comparing that to what Japan had later in the 1943, 1944, the quality was immense. The quality difference was immense. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't the best Krupp armor. It was still a good armor. Japanese AA was pretty crappy, that I agree. At the same time, Yamato had enough of them to just fill the sky with a lot of the slugs, a lot of the flak. So when you think about that, in War Thunder you are not seeing squadron planes. You don't see planes flying in squadrons, you just see one or two planes. So even if she would get matched against the Cold War jets, I don't think a lot of them would get past through that. And it would either be really OP or get the mouse treatment. That I would agree. Considering Gaijin is really not into the whole decompression stuff, etc. She would probably should probably just having the fate of facing the missile cruisers and missile destroyers. Given that it still failed to destroy a couple of planes, you know what? Yamato. Operation Tango, yes. I mean, if you call a couple of planes, a couple at over 280 planes that attacked almost at the same time in one wave against Yamato, then okay, if that's a couple, I don't want to say and ask what's not a couple and what's more for that. Yeah, Yamato was attacked by almost 400 planes, and some of the sources cite that over 400 planes. If that's a couple for you, then boy, I have some news for you. Bulgaria is confirmed? Cool, I wouldn't mind seeing Bulgarians. Bulgaria had interesting designs, same with Romanians. So the minor axis coming is really appreciated. And yeah, they will probably go to Italy. Like, Italy will probably become the minor axis 3. So Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria going to Italy. Yamato for BR 7.7. First of all, Gaijin needs to have the necessity of trying and limit the more modern planes of coming into the naval matches, and then we might talk about the compressing naval. Like 8.0 would be against 8.7, 8.3, which we might see 8.3 battleships or 8.7 battleships, which would be facing 9.3 planes. I'm sorry, but no way in hell I would like to see that. Okay, hello music. Music has stopped yet again. And yet again. Cool stuff, YouTube. Like, I am watching, I am just using that for my background music. I know it's hard for you to think about that people are just not using pre-downloaded stuff. I'm one of the weird people that use YouTube for that, but hey. Okay, coming back to Bulgaria. I would like to see Bulgaria, I would like to see Bulgarian planes, I would like to see Romania as a sub 3, which, not gonna lie, will boost the Italian development a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, as much as I am a purist when it comes to just splitting the trees into their respective nations. For example, I would want Poland to get into Polish tree, not to Soviet or anything. Same thing with Spain, same thing with Yugoslavia. For the very, very small nations, be it what we have with Israel, etc., I would rather see them just be in sub-trees than with other stuff, than with their own trees just cluttering the space. I am allowed to say that. Same thing with Israel would way more benefit being added to French sub tree than with being added as their own original tree. They don't have that much of a stuff, and basically as France has already planes from US and tanks from US and Britain, that wouldn't change that much, would it? There wouldn't be that much of a change. Caracciolo or Caracciolo, yeah, that would be nice to see. That would be awesome to see. And yes, I know that Romania technically is in Italy as a premium plane, yeah, as the IRA. Wait, IRA is the Irish Republican Army, IAR. And with all the subjects, I like for the flags of minor nations to show up in the scoreboard. For example, when there's a match with only one turn, there be a Hungarian instead of Italian flag. That would be a nice change. I agree. I agree. I'm all up for that. For sure, if there would be more nation or more LBR stuff, France has American and British stuff, that's only World War II stuff, after that is all French. Okay, so what about Israeli? I'm not saying that Israeli tanks are different, but come on, look at the planes. Don't speak about tanks because I don't know a lot about tanks, but I can speak more about planes. The top Israeli tree is basically the French tree. The rank 7 besides F-16 is France. The rank 6 is basically France with A4, etc. So why is there no chance for Israeli to be added as a sub-tree for France? And it's not like there's that many of the tanks also. Yeah, the Super Sherman, so the M51, etc. They are cool original designs, quote-unquote, the deep modifications. But at the same time, wouldn't that also make sense for that to be added to France as the sub-tree? So for example, that what we have with Finland, but with more original vehicles. Like, there's no question that mix of US, British, French, Russian stuff Israel has and modernized. Yes, that is true. Okay, I might have to check that later, but I'm pretty sure that they don't have that much of... yeah, Finland is straight up copy-paste. Besides a few vehicles like the Vickers 6-ton and BT-42 in the Grand Tech tree, then yes. In terms of air tech tree, it's even worse. The Finnish redemption arc might and will probably come when it comes to naval stuff, because they have quite a few ships that could be added to the overall Scandinavian tree, which I would really love to see. Like the Danish, Norwegian, Swedish and Finnish ships all in one stuff, and that would be a quite nice naval tech tree even. Okay, I missed the battleship. Okay, that's Arkansas. No wonder I cannot penetrate it. Disengaging loves money so much, and Chinese players love spending. Yeah, do I think a Chinese navy will be implemented in the near future? We do know for a fact that Chinese navy was announced and confirmed by Gaijin that it is in development. At the same time, most of the stuff in the Chinese navy goes up to 1 light cruiser. And a few destroyers when it comes to blue water, so most of that would be just coastals. And other than that, I wouldn't say that's a lot of stuff to be added. They confirmed it, but I don't know in what state they would be added. Most likely it would be a coastal stuff without any blue water stuff or with blue water premiums. And basically the complete inverse of what we have with France. So France has currently only blue water with no coastals, which again, bad stuff. Talking about Nordic tech tree for naval, did they have any battleships or otherwise outstanding ships? They had the coastal defense ship class. All 4 nations have some of them, which might not had the biggest guns, but the guns they had were either 283 millimeters or 305 millimeters. So they would fit quite nicely with the overall 6.7 vibe, 6.7, 6.3 early dreadnoughts, late battle cruisers, or the standard battleships. Yeah, battleships. Progetto Leghorn would be nice. 1928 battlecruiser design, project from O.T.O. Livorno, elaborated 1930-1935, alternative transformation of the Cavour and Dore classes. That is actually interesting. That is interesting, although I am a little bit skeptical since I don't like design-only ships. That's why I am really not very keen on ships like H-class battleships, O-class battlecruisers, A150 design battleship to be added, Kronstadt to be added as well, Sovietsky Soyuz, Montana class. The list goes on and on and on. But if such things should appear, they should appear after every other possibility was exhausted of adding a ship to the already existing naval tech tree. So after Italy, after Japan, this is adhering to every nation. First, add every real ship that existed, that was built, that was finished, that was launched. Later than that, add the ships that were designed and were in some quote-unquote some construction percentage. For example, Kii class, Amagi class when it comes to Japan. And after that, after depleting and exhausting every other option, then you might move towards the designs that existed only on paper. Never go into the World of Warships development process and add ships that were basically what if. So the designs in the pan-European tree, the Soviet battleships, Soviet carriers, German carriers, the German battleships, etc. A lot of the star tier stuff. Yeah, I'm not a very big fan of that. So what if the what's it called? What if the development options were depleted? Well, sorry for that. Add all the stuff that was already constructed or just designed, even if we are going with this path of development. So first build, modernize, etc. World War I, World War II, maybe even some Cold War stuff, then constructed but never launched, scrapped midway, then designed on paper. You probably have enough ships for every nation to get for the next 10 to 15 years of development for the game. Especially with the amount of ships we're getting added per patch. Okay, Sweden had 2 battleships, I recall. Not battleships, but coastal defense ships. But yes, they had 3, if I recall correctly. Then Denmark had 2, Finland had 1, or no, that Finland had 4 of them, Norway had 2 of them, something like that. So all in all, it would be close to 10-ish. Doria got refit to Dulio, yes. Superlitorio, what the hell is Superlitorio? Now you guys are making me wanna Google things. Superlitorio, Super Corazzata Litorio? Yeah, Super Corazzata Litorio. I think. No, not that. Superlitorio battleship. I mean, I can't even see any designs for that. So did you mean the Progetto Cassone? Progetto Cassone. Italian dreadnought would compete. This Italian dreadnought would compete with Yamato. Cassone large battle cruiser. That's large battle cruiser, not battleship. 8456. Yeah, 456 millimeters. Okay, I'm seeing main belt 456 millimeter, 350 and 150 millimeter. The thing is, it is from 1921 and only appeared in the Ships of the Line Current Evolution Status, a critical essay by Ferdinando Cassone. So it is a proposal built to the limit study. Whether that would be something to compete with Yamato, I am not so sure. Mainly because Yamato was designed as a World War II battleship, and this was a battleship slash battlecruiser, more like a battleship, but for the World War I. So even with the armor, we don't know the shells that those 456mm guns would use. Then it probably had no anti-air, or with anti-air that would be the old something like the 76mm, the 80mm, so the very slow firing, not very effective anti-air. So I don't think it would be something competing with Yamato, but it would be on par with firepower. I don't mean competing with Yamato. We don't know the shells, and that's where my issue is. So are we getting again into the stuff with Kronstadt? So basically, what if those shells had this and this velocity, basically guessing on estimations? Then yes, that would probably be even more overpowered than Yamato when it comes to raw firepower. Sadly, we have no knowledge about those guns, unless I'm missing something, then please do correct me. If not, then it would be an interesting design, but like I said, Italy has quite a few ships that were designed and launched, but never completed, and maybe things like Progetto Cassone design for the proposition would be added later. I'm gonna lie, interesting choice. But first, I would say let's focus on Littorio class first. So stuff like that. So the creme de la creme, the end of the naval lines. I still am in the quote-unquote the mindset of the build ships, the build top of the line and not the design top of the line, if you catch my drift. Not that I hate designs or nothing, it is interesting of what if such things were built, what if such things existed. Would they change the war? Would they... Okay, how the hell did I explode Helena? But at the same time, I don't think I would like to see Montana class as a pinnacle of War Thunder US Tech Tree. I would rather see Iowa. Same thing with Yamato and not Super Yamato. HMS Vanguard, not... oh, I forgot the best of the best the proposed design for the British. Same thing with Littorio class as the pinnacle. Maybe Sovietsky Soyuz if we're stretching enough, but if not, then Soviets already got their pinnacle with the Parizhskaya Komuna. And France, so Richelieu, Dunkirk class. Like I said, just let's focus first on what can be added, and later we would need to worry about what could be added from the designs. Especially now that I don't even know if Gaijin wants to scrap the naval as it is, because even though it racks in profits from the looks of it, it seems like they really are trying to get it as bad as possible to make players stop playing it and then just close all the project and call it a day, saying, oh, we don't have enough players to play, so we are just closing the naval game mode. Hopefully that's not the case. I do really want to play with naval, but such a possibility may be in the development. Considering the latest changes, they are trying something, but again, it is one step forward, two steps back when it comes to development. Sadly. So let's hope it's not the case at all, and it's just empty talk and not me foreseeing future, you know. Hey, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of ships. But speaking of ships, well, we are speaking about ships. Wow, who would have thought? Is my screen freezing by alt tab? Yes, my screen is freezing by alt tabbing because I need to alt tab once in a while to make sure the music is not stopping. And if I want to check if there are any lost frames, etc. on the Streamlabs screen. Because on my second monitor I currently have only Discord and live chat opened. So if you see me just alt tabbing like that and screen freezing, then don't worry. If there's a issue with my connection, etc., then I will tell you, or you would just see the video buffering. But more often than not, it's just me alt tabbing, checking something on the internet like this. stuff with super Littorio class, etc. I don't know why Gaijin did that before. It was normal. Even on borderless window, I could just have the game play out. Even on streams, you could see that earlier, that the streams never stopped and you could see all the gameplay footage. And currently, if I just alt tab, you see a very big pause. Shame on them, but what can I do? Not really something I can prevent, so sorry, not sorry. Oh, sorry, no, sorry, blame it on Gaijin. Yeah, I just lost a train of thought. Okay, come on, Mihail. Come on. Die already. Thank you. I'm gonna lie, I gotta thank Soviets for designing very weakly armored cruisers. How do I have 90 battles in Mogami but not have her spaded? The reason is simple. I may have played a lot. That doesn't mean I play good. Like, boy oh boy, I'm not a very good player. I want to consider myself a good player, but just knowing how good players are, etc., I can call myself slightly above average, so... I mean, if you check my service record, then I have things... Okay, I have Congo, I have splayed it, but Mogami, I am slightly over the 1.0 KD, and you expect me to spade her. Or Furutaka. Okay. No, I don't have Furutaka spaded. Oh, crap. It comes as a surprise, I thought you just didn't have bought everything, but yet I'd expect even an average player to get enough XP and spade a ship after almost 100 battles. Aha, see, I'm subverting your expectations on the bad side. Do I have Furutaka spaded? No, I don't think so. I am close to spading her, but I don't have her spaded. I have no 6.0 or 5.7 spaded, now that I think about that. Yeah, now that I think about that, I have no... Besides, I think... No, Suzuya not. Tona no. Tona I have just one thing in. Well... Okay, time to start grinding, I guess. I think I don't want to subvert expectations in a negative way. Not as much. But yeah. I'm a very bad player, then, I guess. I guess I'm just a bad player. What can I say? Time to up my game and prove everyone wrong. Also, not gonna lie, that surprised me also. how I don't have Mogami spaded, considering like, okay, I may not be good, etc., but sometimes I do have matches where I go like the 7-0 and still not be able to like get that much experience. I don't know, shows that oh, I just lost any how should I say it, any yeah, welcome to English as a second language, and don't know how to say a simple thing. Well, let's call it a right to speak War Thunder. I've lost it now that you know that I don't have a simple 6.0 cruiser spaded after 100 battles. As you can see, a lot of the battles probably were just like that. I spawn, I die, I spawn, I die, so something like that. Is there a reason why I have so much more games in Hyuga over Fuso? Simply because, well, besides the fact that Hyuga was the first Super Dreadnought released in War Thunder, and as a Japanese player I spent well, we had nothing else than Hyuga at the time. I just am not so compelled in playing Fuso. Fuso never struck me as a ship that I want to get. Second of all, I have a free talisman on my Hyuga, so that's the second reason why I want to play her more than Fuso. So yeah, just like that. To be frank, to be honest, besides Congo, I don't think I've ever wanted really a battleship in a Japanese line. Maybe if Mutsu or Nagato shows, then yes, that would be the second. On paper, Fuso seems like a straight upgrade over Hyuga. On paper, yes. In general, too. Especially because Fuso gets the Type 91 shell. At the same time, is there really such a discrepancy? Now you make me wondering. Blue water and by rank. Is there really such a difference, considering the release date of Fuso and Hyuga was such a big? The KD is something I would like to focus on more. Like, how the hell I have so little kills in Fuso and I have so much kills in Hyuga? That would be my concern. The fact that I have more games in Hyuga, mostly because of the talisman thing, probably. I don't even consider that because lately I don't play that much of battleships anyway. But if I had to choose, probably because of that. Second of all, that would be, I don't know, because of things like preference. Now explain the kill difference. Back in the day, okay, I'm gonna run this. Wyoming. Back in the day, when War Thunder was still, War Thunder Naval was still hatchling game mode, and first dreadnoughts were announced. Then first Super Dreadnought was announced, and it was Hyuga. We had this little tiny thingy called SAP bug where it made SAP be way over efficient and way better when it comes to dealing damage to every ship. Straight up ignoring armor. Same thing with later HE bug where just HE ignored water resistance. So, as most of the players were just here to, you know, playing things like dreadnoughts, like, if I remember correctly, North Dakota. Oh my god, I don't want to lie to you because I forgot which one of the German ships were announced first, but even Poltava, Maria, Setsu, or something like that. Hyuga just dominated over every of them, and it was so easy in the Super Dreadnought, in the biggest guns in the game at the time. It was so easy racking up kills. Pretty much Hyuga was the glass cannon that detonated everything and was pretty much unkillable besides other Hyuga. Cruisers, battleships, you name it. Oh yeah, okay, I have Furutaka spaded. Okay. Okay. I don't have Suzuya spaded. Okay, what ships do I have spaded? Momi, yes. Mutsuki, yes. Ayanami, yes. Harukaze, no. Considering I've played like a few matches. Why do I neglect Setsu and Tone? Why do I neglect Setsu? So, I'm gonna say it as a comparison thing. For example, let's say you... okay, I don't know how that... yeah, I know I don't have to check modifications, but it's way better for me to do that way. But, okay, so why do I neglect Setsu or Tone? Tone be aside, but Setsu. Let's say you have a car. So let's say you have let's say you have the newest Ford Mustang, which would be your Hyuga. And then comes and you somehow obtain yourself a Lamborghini, which would be a Congo. Do you really want to go back to your typical Toyota Corolla, which is Setsu? Nevertheless, even if she's a sleeper car, when you can drive around in Lamborghini, which is way more fun to drive around and gives you way more fun. No matter when you're doing a burnouts, when you're trying to drift, when you're trying to go on a track, when you're just daily driving it. So basically something like that. It's not like I hate Setsu. I do consider Setsu as one of my favorite battleship before the introduction of World War II battleships. But same thing with, for example, in Great Britain. Why am I playing only Hood if I have Colossus? Why do I neglect those two, even though I got Colossus first? The reason is simple. Colossus is not up to the standard now that we have Hood. Okay, I don't have Marlborough, so I cannot say about Marlborough, but I think it's a smaller discrepancy. Same thing with USSR. Why do I only play Komuna when and neglecting Poltava or Maria? I think Poltava, like, I have nothing spaded. Yeah, nothing researched even. And same thing with Germany. Why would I bother playing Kaiser or von der Tann when I have Scharnhorst? Which is like your way to go ship. Something like that. Like, I don't mind playing them, I don't mind taking them for a ride, but currently, when I have no need of getting the free experience from that, and there is no rush, yeah, I don't think I would go for Setsu over again. I'd probably just force my way through the modifications with Golden Eagles on her and play her then. Corolla is still a marvel for people who can't drive, have a tractor. I guess your point, but it's not even competitive in BR 6.3. 6.3 is a weird BR currently. Like, at this point, what you have at 6.0 is 6.0, at 6.3. More often than not, you're getting either 6.7 or 7.0 battles than 6.3 and below. So you are fighting in Setsu against either modern battleships or modern battleships. Not only considering the fact that you are against Helena and Des Moines most of the times, which are way better than you. Besides the point, as someone who has driven a modern Corolla, no, even then, even the people who can't drive at this point get a different car. I don't know, maybe that's because I'm a car guy, a little, but for me Corolla lately is just a car that invokes no emotions. Like, I don't need a lot of horsepower to have emotions coming out from a car. Like, my last car that sadly got totaled, not from my fault, but some stupid idiot drove into my side, was a Hyundai Tiburon or Hyundai Coupe, as it is called in North American market and European market. And that thing had only 143 horsepower. It was such a fun car to drive. You don't need a lot of... at the same time, I've driven, because of the same accident, I've driven the 2017 or 2018 Toyota Corolla, which had the similar amount of horsepower, 120 something. It was a proper car, but it was bland, so that's why. Also, the point about having a tractor is invalid because I also own a tractor, and don't worry, owning a tractor has nothing to do for a Corolla. Some of the older Toyotas, like the Celica, or the newer Prius, also has a nice design. Not really a big fan of a Prius, but well, let's not get deep into the stuff, but I just don't like hybrids or electrical cars, but it's a topic for a different matter. I'm not drunk enough, nor I'm sober enough to discuss it here or anywhere else. It's just Prius is, again, bland and proper. That's why I really like Toyota GR86, as it shows that Toyota still has this edge in them. Not Supra, because Supra is basically the BMW Z4, not the Toyota GT86, which is, not gonna lie, which is one of my dream cars, but at the same time it is basically a copy of Subaru BRZ. But the Toyota GR86, which was designed from the ground in Toyota, and it shows that they can still design a good car, a good sports car. Celica is really good too. Not gonna lie, I had a possibility of owning a Celica. Owning a tractor, respect. It's really not a matter of respect, it's just if you grew up in a countryside, then more often than not, even if your parents are not farmers, you still will own a tractor. Like, it is just something about growing up in a countryside that, well, first my grandparents owned this tractor, then my mom got it because it was my mom parents, so the grandparents. So going like that. So yeah, I do own a tractor. Not anymore, sadly, but well, this month still we do own a tractor. I have driven in it before. It is fun at the same time. Christ, I don't like driving in them. When it comes to just the amount of engineering that goes into making these cars is fascinating. Yeah, that is true. Alternative drives are interesting, but I'm gonna say it like that. Alternative drives should not be forced. Okay, so this is the only thing I'm gonna say, because I don't want to argue with people. Like I said in the stream rules, no political stuff, but this is the only time I'm gonna say it. The same thing what happened, because a lot of the times it is being brought up by the electric/hybrid car enthusiasts that the ICE cars replaced the horse-drawn carriages, etc., and nobody batted an eye. Yes, because it was a natural evolution, not a forced evolution. And let's keep it that way. If it was a natural, and if it was a preference for a lot of the people, and if they were better, offering the same things that ICE cars, so diesel or gas cars, offered, then I wouldn't even bat an eye, and I am pretty sure that we would see way more electric cars going around on our streets. So that's that. And I do feel that putting everything on one card, so the electrical card, is not a very good thing. That's why I do respect Porsche for developing the synthetic gas line, which is a really good thing to do, even though it will be pricier than a normal one, but it would still allow for a lot of the old cars to still be on the roads. Same thing with the hydrogen cars from Toyota, like Toyota Mirai. Like I said, possibilities are endless. You just need to look at the development, and it's not like the development of the gas cars are at the dead end. There's still quite a few things that we can develop from them. It's just people don't want to, because for a lot of people it just brings money to push the electric cars into that. Taycan 911. Yeah, Porsche. I like Porsche, but if I have to say that, then not gonna lie, I am more into the JDM, so the Japanese market. Things like Toyota GR86, Nissan GTR, Supra, Nismo, all of that, Lexus, LFA, Acura NSX, all those stuff. Not a big fan of muscle cars. I do like the European sports cars like Porsche, like the Audi RS. I don't like BMW, but that's because I have bad experiences with BMW right now. But that's besides the point. That is very subjective stuff. I do need to sell that car not gonna lie, I have BMW Series 3 currently, and I am trying to desperately sell it and buy myself something different. Probably Mazda 6 MPS with all-wheel drive and 2.5 liter engine, 226 horsepower, something like that. I do wanted to get myself a Hyundai Genesis Coupe, but it is a little bit more over my budget, so and importing stuff will cost even more, even from the Germany, Netherlands, Switzerland, etc. So I'm not gonna double into that. I agree with you that it shouldn't be forced, and I'm open to many different forms like electric, hydrogen, e-fuels, or even... Yeah, same things with me. I don't mind electric cars. I don't mind Tesla. I don't mind all the electric stuff. It's just getting it shoved into our throats will not make them popular. They should just defend on their own, if they are good. S6 is nice as well as GTR 35 and S15. Oh, how could I forget about Sylvia? Owning a Sylvia would be an amazing dream. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I am really onto the prospect of e-fuels, like the synthetic fuels, simply because it's not a big interference in the combustion engines. Oh yeah, now I remember the word combustion. And like I said, to be completely honest, not a lot of people can afford to switch to a fully electric car, even though it might be a little bit cheaper in maintenance now. Considering the power shortages that it would cause, for example, take Germany, take Poland, like that. Poland has around 40 million population, with most of them being adults. Let's say, I currently don't know. Okay, so apparently we have around, in the 2023, we had 26.7 millions of the cars on our roads just registered in Poland. So let's say each of that car just suddenly switches to being electric. Like, let's even say that we have the infrastructure for that. Every gas station has the charger port, the fast charger, etc. First of all, the sheer fact that the power outages that we would experience from that would be so immense that after just a week, probably the whole country would lose power. That's the problem. And Poland is not even a big country when it comes to cars. Let's take, for example, Germany, US, France, something like that have like twice or even more of the cars driving around in them. Oh, and as you said, the battery lifetime, replacements, and long charging times. Even for the short... benefits could be the option to balance energy surplus from much solar or wind energy. The problem is we don't have too much solar. We don't have the surplus of solar or wind or water energy, or the hydro power plants. We don't have the surplus of that. Feeding electric cars with coal energy defeats their purpose. Yeah, it does. But what can I say? It's not a recent news, but you probably know. Germany closed their nuclear power plants and went coal again, started building new coal power plants. So, I wonder why coal is beneficent for them now, even though they were so into going ecological and green. So yeah, more coal, good for us. To be honest, currently, when it comes to electricity and power generation, the only solution of besides relying on, not gonna lie, a bit unstable ecological sources like solar or wind or hydropower plants is going fission. Not even nuclear fusion or fission, however you wanna call it. This is kind of the only way to supply a whole country with a relatively low energy cost. So low cost entry and low cost of maintenance. That's kinda the only way to supply such a growing supply. Other than that, not gonna lie, we are kinda screwed. Coal will run out eventually, be it 50 years, be it 100 years, even if that's not kinda our... after 100 years, I don't think any of us will be alive at this point, so it's not kind of our concern, but it is the concern of next generations. We should prepare for us. Coal is probably the worst, but the decision makers haven't planned ahead enough. Nuclear fusion is the future. But with hydrogen, it can produce lots of energy, but still years away. Not really years away. The thing is, we already have the ability to get into the stable fusion and the ability to sustain it. The problem is, it's not a lot of countries, not a lot of governments want to develop it because, well, first of all, less... okay, I'm not gonna shoot. Less money from the taxes to the subsidies, etc., etc. But also because it's still costly to build stuff and kinda hard, especially here in Central and Eastern Europe, to convince people. Like, even though it happened quite late, the shadow of the Chernobyl, nice reference to the game, the shadow of Chernobyl and power plant explosion, to the whole catastrophe, is still lingering over this region. So that's one of the reasons why people are very skeptical here. And not only that, also we do tend to focus more on the negative sides. So we're not hearing about the French power plants that are running for decades and are good. We are not hearing about the German, we are not hearing about the UK, etc. But we are hearing about Chernobyl, we are hearing about Fukushima. So we are hearing about the catastrophes. We are not really talking about that much about the positives. That most of the times it's really a margin of the stuff that really gets bad. And even though it gets bad, look at Fukushima now. Yeah, it's not like the whole city got desolated, etc. But once it arrives, it will change the world. With this easy and plentiful energy, it could be used to create more hydrogen through electrolysis, which then can be used in industry infrastructure. It could, but well, the most important part is if it doesn't bring money, even it can be even free, even almost free, and people will still not invest in it. That's the problem. Like, you need to get money from that in order to be developed. If something doesn't bring money, then I'm sorry, you are not seeing that developed. Infrastructure, I still think commercial fusion is at least 10-20 years away, but the French fission power plants are on the way of extending their lifetimes. Yes, but it's not the problem of them exceeding their lifetime. The sheer fact that they had how long they were currently I cannot really check it because I'm in the match and I am shooting, but they are like 40-50 years old, so I'm sorry, for the 40 to 50 years old to supply a whole country with very cheap energy, it's still a massive feat to achieve. And not gonna lie, I will take 40 to 50 years in which you can prepare for the new ones. So, okay, maybe not right away, but let's say 20 years, so half time, and you are starting to produce new ones. And get that again and again and again. I wouldn't mind paying taxes for that. I wouldn't mind paying taxes for that if that means that I don't have to pay millions, or maybe not millions, but I don't have to pay a crap ton of money to get my PC to run or to watch TV, to plug my guitar into my amp. Not gonna lie. Even if that is kinda like one thing, etc. The cost of storing is not that big. But the thing is, the cost of storing is not really that big. Yes, it is not really cheap, but like, look at France. Okay, so yeah, the France is a really good example because they are really into that. So just take a look at that and tell me how many times have you heard about the storage containers just like popping off deep in the Atlantic Sea and causing the nuclear radiation, etc. Like, pretty much zero. And it's not like you cannot buy the technology from other countries. That's the how should I say it? That's the beauty of the modern world. We can buy and sell the technologies from each other. It's not like every country needs to develop their own technology to get the stuff done. It's not like if you need to develop something, you have to develop something from the scratch. So you have to go back to nuclear stuff, so you have to develop computers again, etc. or internet. No, you can just buy the technology, study it, employ it in your specific specific conditions and see if it works. Then modify it to suit your needs. Hi Wolf, how you doing? We are very deep into discussion about ecological energy sources. Okay, what's the cost of storing nuclear power plant, nuclear waste? $300,000 a year. Okay, so $300,000 a year. Cost of running a coal power plant. And of course, I cannot see the cost of that. It's okay. Okay. Let's get back into the game. I see. Fine, and you? I am doing fine. I am very close to finishing the whole Japanese lineup. Finally, and I can just say that I have Ise and every rest of it researched, then maybe move to coastal. Finally, I'm playing some good Navy, no Soviet bias. Oh, don't you worry, don't you worry. I am not going back to Soviet Navy for a long, long time. Currently, my plans are to finish Japan and then probably Italy. So we are going for the spaghetti thingy. I finally need to get at least one battleship into it, because I want to own a battleship in every country, and only Italy is missing. Must also consider tertiary costs of following generations of or people who might suffer in case of a leak and contaminated water. Despite all these arguments, nuclear better than coal. So I'm gonna do a counter argument about the tertiary cost of following generations suffering from the air pollution about living near the coal power plants and all the hereditary stuff that you will experience from the genetic modifications of people suffering from the lung diseases. Because it's not like even if the cost is steep when it comes to storing and containing the waste, it is still way more efficient than, first of all, excavating, transporting, using and modernizing the coal power plants. Wolf, why are you showing a Swiss heart? I don't know why, but this just reminded me, like, okay, this is a heart, but this is a Swiss heart, not an Italian, like with the cross inside. Like, okay, why you have Switzerland here? It's Italy. I know they are close. Wait, is there a Skyrim music? Yeah, from past to present, Skyrim. Damn, I haven't heard it for a while. Hearing Skyrim music while watching Naval gameplay is something else. And I'm right, coal may still be more expensive, including tertiary costs of coal power plants. Yeah, exactly. Like, be it me being very egoistic and selfish, but kinda okay. Let's the future generation deal with what future deals them. But if I have to choose between me getting lung cancer from the coal that is burning up and evaporating into the atmosphere, and some people maybe, not even a high possibility, but maybe somewhere in the future, like over 100, 200, 500 years later, drinking the water from the nuclear power plant, I'm taking the nuclear power plant. It doesn't have normal heart, so I use this one. Oh wait, here's another one, right one. I don't have normal heart. I'm sorry for not having a normal heart. I'm sorry, I know I'm cruel, cold and heartless. Like, I don't have a normal heart, like... Oh, come on, I'm just a Paul. Like... What did you expect from me? Like, did you really expect me to have a normal heart? Nah, just joking, just joking. Oh, speaking of which, screw the Skyrim music. this is some music that I would like to hear, and this is, I wonder if you will know what this music is from. Okay, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit because I want to listen to it too, more than Naval. The funniest thing about nuclear power plants is their location. Yeah, I know. I know where most of the French power plants are located. And yes, I do know that they're right on the border with Belgium. Like, right, the part that they can build the least, they build it the most. Yeah, this is just a big FU. I mean, the same thing is with Croatia grabbing all the coastline from... wait. Croatia is grabbing all the coastline from... What country? I remember... I don't recall... from Serbia. Or Bosnia and Herzegovina. Like, grabbing all the coastline, like, you are not getting any coastline. We are the ones that want the coastline. Yeah, Bosnia. Yeah. Not gonna lie, this, changing the topic a little bit, this music that is currently playing is the music of my childhood. Like, from my late childhood. Also, you team might recognize it. I mean, might recognize it. I don't think, even though it was a German game, it was really that popular in Germany. It really just went to... it really just got their popularity in Poland and the Slavic countries, but it's still the music of my childhood. I think I was like, what, yeah, I was 7 when it was when the game was released, so yeah, it is kind of my childhood, and after that... Oh no, it's ending. Okay. But hey, we have 50 minutes of the beautiful Kai Rosenkrantz compositions and ambience. What game are we talking about? I don't recognize it. You don't recognize Vista Point from the hit game Gothic 3? Okay, first it might need to buffer a little bit, but just a second. Oh, you don't know what you're missing if you haven't played it. If you haven't played Gothic or never played Gothic. Oh no. Have you played Ryzen, however you wanna call it? Because this is basically a new version of Gothic, especially the first game and the third. The second, the pirate one, was nice, but it was really a big step sideways. So kinda hard to recognize that as the same game in the series. I'm here saying as a very big RPG fan. Not gonna lie, kinda because of the Gothic. if you ask somebody from my generation about their music from yes, I know Settlers. I do know Settlers. I have played Settlers 2, Settlers 5, and Settlers 7. Yeah, very weird way to play it, but I have played those. The Settlers 2, then the Settlers 2, the 10th anniversary, then Settlers 5, then Settlers 7. I do like it. I haven't played it in a while. That was also one of the childhood games, especially the fifth part. I haven't played Reason. But yeah, like if you ask someone from Settlers 5 was the first game you played, oh, definitely for me the first game I've played was okay, let me turn the War Thunder a little bit down. Yeah, the campaigns with 3 heroes. The game was like, when it comes to campaign and when it comes to the control style, it was way different than the other Settlers, and this is what it made it unique in a good way. They weren't really scared of trying new things. But like I said, if you ask someone from my generation about games from their childhood, then for sure, especially in Poland, I don't know about Ukraine, etc., but first and foremost, Gothic, Heroes 3, Deluxe Sky Jumping 2, and that depends, but Warcraft 3 for a lot of people. When it comes to that, we really grew up on the RPG slash turn-based strategy games, and I guess it shows. I guess it shows a lot when it comes to what games, for example, we are producing now, what games do influence the game devs from Poland, for example. Of course, can't forget about Stalker, however you wanna call it. Undisputed one of the best FPS RPG games that ever existed. A series that has lots of replayability, etc. The Polish gaming industry has really grown in the last couple of years. It's not like they've grown a lot, but I would say that they've grown more when it comes to the recognition on the international state. Like most of the times, and probably this is the same with a lot of other gaming industries, like of course the country that produces the games will first and foremost target the games for their country audience. So that's why you don't hear a lot about, especially the earlier stuff, not the indie ones currently, the French companies, the Czech ones, like besides Bohemia Interactive or the Warhorse Studios. You don't hear a lot about them. You don't hear a lot about Turkish game dev. You don't hear a lot about Italian game dev, about French game dev. They are mostly here developing the games for their audience. Same here was with Poland. There was quite a few of the Polish game devs before even that mostly were popular here in Poland, that later got the recognition in the West, be it CD Projekt Red, be it City Interactive with Lords of the Fallen, and Lords of the Fallen 2 that is currently very close to being released. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, that was quite popular here in the West, not the first or second part, or Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts. That is really popular here. Anomaly 11-bit studios with the Anomaly game series, the reverse tower defense, which got really popular way back in the few years. So it's just, I think like a lot of the game dev was here, but it then later got not really grown, but got more recognized. For sure they grown too. They have grown too, and I'm very happy for that. I'm really happy if there is another studio, not really Polish, but the overall studio that produces a lot of good games that one can enjoy, that are not your typical Ubisoft, EA, open world, microtransaction stuff games. And that's why I really like that, not even maybe now, the EA that finally experiments more with the pure single-player experiences, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, not only with FIFA, not only with Apex, etc. Yes, CD Projekt Red is also Polish. They, the guys that made Cyberpunk 2077, the guys that made the 3 Witcher games are Polish. I mean, who else than Poles to produce a Witcher game? Like, come on. Also, from what I've noticed is the more east you go with game dev, so going from the American or Western European game design, the more east you go, the more it is catered towards more hardcore experience, if I say so. For example, maybe besides Witcher or Cyberpunk, like currently, but all of the times the games that are generally publicly acclaimed as the great games from those parts are the games that are really hard. For example, from Japan, what do you have currently the most popular? From Software games, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Armored Core. Those games are crazily hard in a good way. Same thing with here. Czechs, Bohemia Interactive, so Arma, Warhorse Studios, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Stalker. Even the hardest parts of the Witcher, etc. A lot of the games are more story focused, story driven, and harder on mechanics than just your typical Assassin's Creed, etc. that is just trying to cater towards everyone, but at the same time missing a lot of the stuff, like generally dumbing down the whole experience for the new player. Some are into that, some are not. My girlfriend recently read all the Witcher books and I like them a lot. Yes, they are really good. Also, there's the new Witcher book in writing. Sapkowski is trying to write yet another book. Who knows how it's gonna go? Especially considering that, well, I don't have high hopes for that. The Season of Storms, I think that's the English translation of his newest book, was not on the same level as the 5 books of the Witcher saga. Like, don't get me wrong, it was nice. It was nice seeing a little bit of the Geralt's past and a little bit more of his escapades with all the different sorcerers, but and it was nice, more lighter book, more focused on the single plot point. At the same time, it's not his... Sapkowski lost a little bit of his edge that he got before, when he was writing the Witcher, the five Witcher books, and before even the short stories. I do still recommend them. I do still think that those are one of the best examples of Polish fantasy literature, especially if you are into the dark fantasy. Really dark. You can really see a lot of similarities to your modern world. Oh hey, I got Torpedo on Texas. At the same time, it is really lightly and really, I would even say, masterfully written, so you are not so much driving the comparisons from that towards your modern world, and not really having fed you the agenda of the author. A lot of the newer books are just like, okay, so this is a fantasy world, but it's modern world problems that we have. Silently and sneakily smuggling it, it's alright for the more intellectual reader, more intellectual, not trying to insult everyone, but to a reader that really likes to pick up the insights, etc. But for your typical guy that wants to just go into the book and read about the adventures of a certain characters, it should be just that. It shouldn't be like straight into your throat. Okay, so this is that, this is bad, this is good, etc. And this is a straight up direct comparison to what we have in a real world, because those books are not for that. And they never should be. That's why, for example, Lord of the Rings is still unbeaten masterpiece that drives a lot of comparison from the real world, at the same time not allowing you to draw the comparisons and see the conclusions of author, but at the same time not showing them right into your throat, even though you have these stereotypical good and evil archetypes. At the same time, even when we look at the elves and orcs of Sauron, when it comes to Lord of the Rings, the orcs are kinda tragic characters. Not saying that they are good or at any point they are inherently evil, but at the same time they were the tortured elves that got twisted by the dark magic of Sauron and Morgoth. That they become orcs. Just like that. So you are kinda lamenting on their fate, but at the same time you can't really forgive them the crimes that they do. A lot of the stuff that really when it comes to literature and books, I really like the fantasy books, of course, but the books that really balance really thinly on this gray morality. Głuchowski's Metro, for example, which is yet another recommendation of mine. If you haven't read it, do read especially the first book, so the Metro 2033. The second is alright-ish, but you can skip it and then you can go for the Metro 2035, which is not as good as the first book, but it's still a good piece of writing to read. Oh, really? I'm talking a lot about books. I'm gonna lie. Okay, how far until he said 10,000? Okay. Okay, not 10,000. I see a bit 11,000 added to the research of Ise. Okay. I'm interested. No, still 10,000. Can I speed this up a little bit? Wrong button, battle pass shop, and let's pray that I'm getting a RP booster. Nope. Okay, screw that, we're getting one more. One more. Okay, I'll take it. Premium booster and switching to... okay, maybe Mikuma is a bad choice. Not the last game that we are gonna be doing. Let's go like that. 070 and Aoba. I have Aoba spaded. No, so it works perfectly fine. I'm very close, halfway through async Congo. Congo is the ship that I really adore. Not gonna lie. Fun fact. The first... I have Congo on my wallpaper. Like, how big of a Congo fan I am? I have Congo on my wallpaper, I have Congo on my mousepad, I have Congo on my phone wallpaper, I have Congo, of course, as a ship, on my debit card, because I got the custom debit card, because they said, okay, if you want to, we are offering a free customized debit card, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm getting Congo on her. And the one and only figure that I have is of Congo, and I will probably soon-ish get myself a Congo model that I will assemble. Maybe even set up a camera and do it on stream. So yeah. I really like Congo. Like, I don't even know why. Why this love of Congo came to be. Oh no, we're not talking about Azur Lane Congo. Azur Lane Congo is just an imposter. The one and only Congo when it comes to anime is Congo from Kankole, and this is the only one that I'm talking about if I'm talking about, for example, mousepad. On one of the monitors I have Congo from Kankole, on the second monitor I have Congo as her battleship from 1943. If I remember correctly, it is a picture of her photographed during the Battle of Leyte Gulf. Something like that. I would have to check once again, but it is for sure it is from 1943. Not from 1944 or 1942. And if I remember correctly, it was from later Gulf. And the second is the anime counterpart, the Kankole version. Same thing with my Discord profile picture, which is oscillating. One is Congo as a ship, one is Congo as an anime girl, one is Congo as a ship, one is Congo as an anime girl, blah 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 blah. And so on and so on and so on. I really like both of the versions. The Azur Lane version of Congo really doesn't strike me as a nice one. Like, okay, she's fine, but she's not fine. Also, when it comes to the design, I think that Congo has one of the best looking superstructure when it comes to battleships. The whole shape and whole design too, but I can find better looking hulls. But when it comes to superstructure and the whole pagoda mast, the pagoda tower, the middle superstructure, the very fitting panel, I don't think I have second ship that can look as good as her in overall. Of course, it is a very subjective thing, and if someone else says, okay, but Helena looks better, but Iowa looks better, but Texas looks better, especially one of my friends' opinion, he adores Texas, the USS Texas, the real ship, and you cannot convince him that there exists a better ship in the entire world, only USS Texas. But hey, this is my little thing that I enjoy, and nobody can convince me otherwise. Not that I want to argue with people about that. Same in the game, in War Thunder. And in World of Warships, because World of Warships was the first game that I've played. When it comes to naval stuff, the quote-unquote the multiplayer one, I did enjoy Congo the most when it comes to all the tech trees when in World of Warships, and again I have been enjoying and still enjoy Congo in War Thunder as the most. I can complain a little bit as she was kinda easy to damage, kinda easy to cripple, but not easy to explode, which is a nice thing overall. I don't know how she is now. I would have to check that. Maybe even that much too. But yeah, Fuso, Scharnhorst, Kronstadt, Nah, Congo is where everything good is. Like, Congo really encapsulates not even the essential idea of a battle cruiser, but also the essential idea of a fast battleship. She can take a hit, maybe now even more, especially after the changes to compartments, etc. She pack a punch, okay, maybe not as much, but the four guns, the four turrets and 8 guns make a job done. Like, not really a question, especially since those guns got buffed when it comes to accuracy, so you don't have to aim that much, and if you know how to aim, then What's the reason between having 6 guns or 4 guns when you are shooting in the same direction? And if you explode ship with 1 shell, what's the difference? And of course the speed. Speed is very important. Speed and agility. One of the most agile capital ship in the entire game. And this is one of the reasons why she should be popular. She isn't. Simply because most of the players are just sailing straight forward and not really maneuvering, not really utilizing a lot of the speed to their advantage. Like, okay, but not gonna lie, when I managed, a few of the times I managed to just straight up dodge salvos from other battleships fighting and shoot against and should like retaliate against them just by maneuvering Congo left and right and left and right, like not zigzagging but left right meandering towards the salvos, then I'm sorry, but there is a certain charm to that you cannot get in Fuso, or Alaska, maybe Alaska, I don't know, I haven't played Alaska, but not, for example, in Texas or Nevada, that you could just sail forward and slightly correct your course because you are very slow and very heavy. And the difference, not even the big difference, because it's like, what, only 10,000 tons or 1,000 ton, but at the same time it is a difference big enough when it comes to how the ship moves. That one is just able to achieve way better things in this comparison than the other. And hey, who am I to complain? If my favorite ship performs better, then why should I complain and not just take it and be happy? Wait. That's Kurama. Ooh, nice. Someone is playing Kurama. So let's see how good is actually she to explode. I know that the rear magazine is way better. Oh, Jesus Christ, that is not a lot of crew left on her. Speaking of Kurama, I don't think I can get her. Like, sorry, not sorry. I wanted to do it, but at the same time, turns out this event vehicle, it's way harder to obtain than one anticipated. I thought that it would be easier since the whole event is shorter. Then it's like, oh no, now you're getting a faulty missile to test, and you cannot do anything against that. You just have to start grinding more and build once the, what's it called, the missile once again, and then you still have to grind for the report papers. And even though I expected this event to be shorter, and turns out it is longer than the previous events. At least in previous events you could just theoretically just grind through 1 to 3 times and get the vehicle you wanted. Here now you are just, okay, so I'm stuck developing this rocket for the 3rd or 4th time and still not be able to get one distraction report done. Very frustrating. What can I say? What can I do even? It's not me who is designing that. Though I would really like to see how really the design works for Gaijin. Like, what is their process of thinking when designing the new quote-unquote events. Do they just you know, do they just brainstorm and okay, so let's add it, so you have to grind for that and that, let's add it if you have to grind for less, for more, what have you grind, how many parts do you have to grind? I do wonder how their brainstorming process goes. And this is a question I probably will never get an answer for, unless I somehow get into the Gaijin headquarters in Hungary and ask them about that. Who knows? But I don't think I have the I don't have the opportunity to be one like Oxy or Mike Goes Boom and get recruited by Gaijin to become their own content creator. Would be nice, not gonna lie. That is something I really think will happen. One can dream though, one can dream. Okay, one more hit at Helena and then I'm switching to Kurama. I don't think that will be enough to get the 10,000 for from Fuso. You get Issa going, but who knows? We'll see. Sure. You know what Gaijin should add? Because currently I don't think there is the thing implemented. They've talked about that, but it would be nice to finally get the possibility of grinding different nations when you have the top tier unlocked or every vehicle unlocked in the one tree. So for example, if I want to go for the, if I have the unlock everything in Japanese tech tree unlocked in the blue water, then I can just use my 7.0 Fuso, Kongo, Ise, whatever, to just grind towards Texas, Kronstadt, etc. Maybe at a slow rate, but still leaving out the possibility of just not really progressing, because this is the worst part, and this is the reason why a lot of the players are just stopping playing certain nations after just getting everything. That is because you don't have the incentive to get different stuff. Like, you cannot progress more, so you switch to things that you can progress into. And it would be funnier to just get something from playing your favorite ships, from playing your favorite tanks, vehicles in general. Helicopters, whatever, tanks. Variant, okay. I know why we have this desert Arabic-like style of music. I kinda dig it, but this is not really the music really fitting the Mediterranean port aesthetic. Nice. Only 100 points. Imagine. Okay, I'm sorry, but destroying a ship and you're just getting really 100 points for getting a ship down with one lucky shot because you don't have dealt enough damage. Only in War Thunder. Welcome to War Thunder. Okay, where is the battleship they are talking about? Because Senkan is battleship. Japanese. From my very limited knowledge of Japanese, I can say that. Yes, I do speak a tiny teeny little bit of Japanese. Yesterday, when I was at work with and talking about with my friends about the like fun stuff, like how many languages can we speak, how many, what counts as speaking a language, etc. Well, turns out that if we count, okay, not boasting or anything, but if we count that speaking a certain few phrases in one language counts, then I can speak like 7 languages or so. So good for me. And I, to be honest, I did not know it's that many languages until I have counted them. They were like, how the hell did you know that many? And I was like, it just happens. Wrong button. For sure, it's not like I'm speaking fluently all the 7 languages, but I do speak them. Like, I do understand a little bit about them, some more basic sentences, some a few sentences, some I'm speaking more fluently, some just basic conversation going, you know, all the fun stuff. So why is the game not ending? Not that I complain, because now I can just okay, give me the kill. Okay, I missed. That you just spawned in last minute. Good for me. I can now pick myself next cargo ships and grind with that. Good for you, Argot Wolf. You are giving me more score to gain. Maybe even get close to Issa in this one battle. Would be nice. And now only Hipper left. If I'm lucky, then this will be just the end of it. If not, then... oh boy, I'm in a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. 3 minutes, so enough for me. Let's see. Kaboom or not kaboom? Not kaboom. Magazine exploded, but not the shell room. Because in some ships you explode the shell room and everything goes down. In some room you explode the magazine and some things go down. You just cannot get a break, can you? Oh, come the hell on, game. The game just automatically switched the shells at probably one of the last second. Gaijin magic. At the best. Really nice, really nice. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed having my shells switched so I cannot output things faster. Truly, I think I enjoyed from this game. It's not the first time I got such a treatment. That's the problem. Let's start driving, because at this point I'm not gonna be able to. What am I shooting at? Uh-oh. Okay, where the hell is that? I cannot see this small... Oh, nice. Hey, GG. And here she is, IJN that never used the IJN prefix ise. Took a second, but here we are. So 50,000 for a modification for Fuso. Good thing I got 186,000. And here she is. Sadly, not in her hybrid battleship carrier form. That would be awesome to see, and to be able to launch, what, 12 or 18 D4Y3 bombers from her rear, but still a nice addition to my collection. And with that, I have full, besides premiums, but that's besides the point. I still, besides Yudachi and Miyoko, I still can buy myself Nanohi or Yugure. I have obtained and grinded through each of Japanese blue water tree. Now, for Japan, what's left is the coastal fleet, and in the meantime, of course, getting this first Andrea Doria, then Duilio. Okay, that will be it for today. I thank you all for coming and for tuning in, watching. What is my Naval EC lineup? Okay, so before the ending, my Naval EC lineup is, since you need, let me check, you need 4.7 or 5.0. I am just using Shimakaze, although she is fast dead. The 15 torpedoes are more than enough, or if not Shimakaze, then I'm going for Kiyoshimo, because hey, 16 torpedoes and way better survivability. For the first cruiser, either Kako or Sendai, depending on my mood, if I want some light or heavy cruiser. Then for sure, one light, so Mikuma Suzuya. I can even show you. Okay, there's Kongo, there's Mogami, there's Mikuma, and there's Kako. So it looks something like that. I don't use planes. Simply because I don't really enjoy playing planes in Naval, besides a few bombers. And for Naval EC, going from one point to another in something like B7 or D4 or anything really slow-ish across the whole map, especially on maps like Dover, it's a pain because there are no carriers around that very lot of the time. So this is my lineup. Kongo because she's the fastest and she can react the fastest while still having really good firepower. Mogami and Mikuma, 6.0, depending on what I'm dealing with. If I'm dealing with other cruisers and destroyers, then going for Mikuma, better SL gain. If not, and I need a little bit more of a punch, for example, going against Helena or some other heavily armored cruiser, then Mogami, Kiyoshimo or Shimakaze for the initial or later for the torpedo punch, and Kako for the early heavy punch. Those 200mm guns, I was gonna say either 20cm or 200mm at the same time in my head, and I just got confused. But the same guns at 4.7 can wreck things up. Like, if you don't really believe me, believe me. I was able to explode Helena. Explode. So detonate Helena, detonate Des Moines, Prince Eugens, you name it, besides battleships, you name it, those guns with AP ammunition can really put up a fight. Yes, you have a long reload. Yes, you don't have that much armor because this is basically a Furutaka class that has a little bit less firepower. But Kako or Sendai, depending on whether I want heavy punch or the fast firing punch, because Sendai is one of the better ships too. Good anti-air at 5.0, surprisingly good protection and good crew placement. Torpedoes are a little bit lacking because these are not the Type 93 long lances, those are Type 8 610mm, so the predecessor of those. Same here. But those get the job done, especially on the shorter distances. So for example, if you're spawning near the transports, just go for that. These are enough. 140mm modification, 1 SAP gets the job done against most of the cruisers and most of the destroyers, with quite a nice explosive mass and penetration. That's it. I don't touch Agano nor Kuma nor Isuzu. Those are very situational ships, especially Isuzu. The slower battleships are okay-ish if I know that I'm going for the defensive on this match, not for the offensive. But really, I do prefer, even though just a little bit less, a bit less of the firepower, I prefer more speed. The difference between even the 40 kilometers on Ise and 56 on Kongo, the maneuverability differences are way bigger than you can really think of. And again, this is way better. Do I prefer arcade or realistic EC? I prefer realistic EC. That's why if I do stream or play Naval EC, so for example, my kinda go-to stream for Sunday is the chill Naval EC, is because it is the realistic. I prefer realistic, especially because no torpedo reloads, no torpedo spam. The same reason I play realistic over arcade when it comes to normal matches. It's just, in general, better experience for me. If someone prefers arcade, good for them. that's not my cup of tea. Okay, and avoid realistic EC because there are no reloads on the aircraft. Yeah, and that's the reason I don't play aircraft on a naval EC overall, because, like I said, going, for example, to bomb an airfield or to bomb a base deep into the enemy territory and then go back to a carrier, or, for example, on Dover to from across the channel once and twice and third and fourth time, just going back and forth. It's really not fun at this point. You're better off just playing a ship, etc. And B-17, I'm guessing you're speaking about the Japanese B-17. I'm not a bomber player, so I cannot really say much about that. Besides that, I know B-17 is good, that it is fast enough. At the same time, 4.7 you get the Key 67, which is alright-ish too, but has lesser payload, but it's more maneuverable. So I don't know. G5 or G8, because the 800 kilogram bombs are bigger than 1000 pound bombs, maybe. It has more payload than any other bomber. 6 1000 pound bombs. But 6 1000 pound is basically 6 500 kilos. And 6 500 kilos are 12 250 kilos. In that case and reasoning, G5, for example, or G8 has this. Okay, G5 has the same amount of payload, but who am I to judge? Overall, I tend to just, when it comes to the payload and to the explosive mass, etc., the best idea when it comes to pounds is just divided by 2. Like, you see 1000 pound bomb, you just treat it as a 500 kilo bomb, more or less, because it's like 600 something in the game. It's basically the same. In terms of TNT equivalent, it has the most. Okay, that's fair argument. I'm not gonna deny that. But at the same time, if you're just going for the straight explosive mass, then it is basically the same as 500 kilo bomb. So I do prefer 1 ton bomb over 1000 pound bomb. Overall, that's why probably you see nations that use metric. That's why you don't see them carrying like 6 or 7 thousand 1 ton bombs, and you see American bombers carrying 6 or 7 1000 pound bombs. Maybe that's the reason why, because this is like 500 kilos for us, so half a ton, basically half of the explosives, kind of like that. But overall, this is kind of my lineup with some small changes like Sendai instead of Kako, Shima or Aki instead of Kiyoshimo. For sure, Mikuma Suzuya as the light cruiser, the high light cruiser, and Mogami for the heavy cruiser. Like I said, battleships are kinda different, but Kongo has earned the title Workhorse of a Navy not for nothing. She is the most versatile, she is the best when it comes to naval EC. For the ranges that you are getting the encounters on, so 18 kilometers, 20 kilometers when it comes to battleship versus battleship, the difference between that you have, okay, you may say, okay, you have very low armor. From the distances you are getting, the armor differences is not that big of a deal. What's the biggest deal breaker for me is that you not being able to react fast enough. Why bother bringing light and heavy cruisers? Depending on the situation. Yes, I do know that they are both of the same class. One is light, one is heavy cruiser. So pretty much the same, but at the same time, Mogami is here if I want to spam at something. For example, let's say the enemy is attacking our zone, our capture point on the coastline with just the destroyers and some light cruisers. I am far enough. I don't have enough points for a battleship. I go for the light cruiser. If the enemy, for example, is attacking the same stuff with, for example, Des Moines, Helena, etc., I go for heavy cruiser because I can deal more damage in one salvo, meaning more chance of detonating such a ship than if it is with light 155mm guns. That's my reasoning. As also with heavy cruisers like Mogami, like with Tone, Alba Furutaka, whatever. I don't king shame. It's just you have this slight advantage when somehow enemy sneaks behind you in a battle cruiser. Maybe not in a Scharnhorst, but you can, as you could see before, you can get the shell room on Kronstadt. You can deal damage to Alaska. You can deal damage to Renown. You can deal damage to Hood. This change 362 and 313. This 50mm change on close distance is quite a deal breaker sometimes when it comes to the defense. But we can talk a little bit more about Naval EC tomorrow during the Naval EC stream. That will be at probably 6 p.m. CEST. So 5 p.m. GMT or something like that. And for PST, let me just check. 6 p.m. CST to PST. 9 a.m. PST. So something like that. Okay, for now, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, consider leaving a like, pressing the subscribe button to be notified of my other content. I am trying to currently output more videos. I'm working on quite a few. If you want to go check my latest video about Mommy, maybe this will kinda go for convince you to either play or skip Japanese tech tree, whatever you wanna look at it. And see you tomorrow, like I said, 6 p.m. CST, 5 p.m. GMT or 9 a.m. PST for those in America, if there are some people who are watching me there. This is Aventor. Bye, see you tomorrow, and see you next time in next videos and in next stream. Bye bye. I hope you have a bit of a day, night, evening, or an afternoon, wherever you are.